The U.S. House of Representatives have passed legislation that will temporarily raise the country's borrowing limit and prevent it defaulting on its debt, but only until December. The Treasury Department can now borrow $28.9 trillion. Democrats who narrowly control the House maintain party discipline to pass the hard-fought $480 billion debt limit, increased by 219 to 206. The vote was along party lines, with every yes from Democrats and every no from Republicans. The bill is expected to be promptly signed by President Joe Biden. Now let's bring in our rights correspondent, ROTIMI KADE. She joins us now from New Jersey. Now, ROTIMI, let's talk about the House of Representatives who have averted the U.S. defaulting on its debt, but only until December. Tell us more.
Yes, so of course, the House of Representatives yesterday passed by party line votes the debt limits ceiling that was submitted by the Senate, which of course was passed up sometime last week, which makes the U.S. to actually avoid that disastrous economic lockdown that is imminent if that debt ceiling is not passed by Monday. So the implication of that is that the Treasury Secretary will now be empowered to actually borrow about $480 billion. And that is just a short measure because by December 3rd, the U.S. is likely going to default again. So which means that the House will have to converge again to debate on how to raise the debt limit for a certain amount of months or perhaps maybe years. But I mean, the back and forth, the jabs that's coming from both Democrats and Republicans is actually very unhealthy to the U.S. economy. The U.S. economy risk being downgraded. The debt ceiling has not been passed, and if this continues, it looks like it's going to be imminent. While the Republicans who supported the filibuster removal that led to the passage of the debt limit ceiling said that they're not going to support the Democrats when it comes to doing that in December, which leaves Democrats with just one option of a reconciliation. A reconciliation is just a tool being used in both the Senate and the House when to more or less remove filibuster and use the simple majority rule to pass legislation. That was what happened during the coronavirus spending bill, when Republicans actually stood firmly that they are not going to support Democrats, spending bill. Okay. So they definitely going to be using that in this time.
Okay. ROTIMI, the U.S. have opened their land borders with Canada and Mexico. This has been a long time coming, has it not?
Well, it's been a long time coming because both countries they actually have some sort of, a long-standing negotiations on opening their own borders. The U.S. has actually promised that they're going to do that from a few months ago, but they're still putting some checks and balances in place before the land borders are going to be open. But right now, both Mexico and Canada will definitely have that pleasure of moving trade and goods into the United States. That will definitely help the economy. However, travelers entering the United States by vehicle, rail, or ferry will also be asked about.
All right, I want to say many thanks to you for your time today, talking about you. ROTIMI KADE, our rights correspondent in New Jersey.